Have you ever watched parkour athletes move their bodies so easily and you wish that you could do that? Well, you can. I've coached countless parkour and hybrid calisthenics athletes from complete beginners to Ninja Warrior competitors. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step structure anyone can follow to build the freedom of movement, whether you're training once a week or adding it to your current workout plan. I'm going to break down the 3 phases of what a parkour class looks like when you're first getting started, and then how you can implement those in your training in order to get the freedom of movement. Here at Awesome Ninja Fitness, we get the strength, skills, and freedom of movement through hybrid calisthenics. And today, we're going to really focus on that freedom of movement, getting it from the experts, those parkour athletes. So every great movement practice starts with a plan. And in parkour, that plan is broken down into the 3 phases, which is movement preparation, which is like warm-up and fundamentals. You got your skill flow, which is applied movement with creativity. And then you've got your focus strength or balance work, which you're finishing with controlled based drills. This is how I structure every beginner's first 3 weeks of parkour classes, and it's exactly how you can structure for your own freedom focus sessions. Let's start with phase 1, warm-up and fundamentals. This is about the first 15 minutes of your practice. We're not talking about just doing regular treadmill warm-ups here. This phase is about first raising your core temperature, which is the goal of every single warm-up. You're also loosening up mentally and physically, and also you're activating the exact patterns you'll be using in training. In traditional fitness, the first exercise you're about to do to warm up for, theoretically, you could just do 30% of whatever that first set is, and then 60%, and then it's up to you if you feel ready or not to get to 80%. Here, because it's movement-based training where we actually want to move. We're also working on the fundamentals. There is no expert who does not have the fundamentals, so we're getting it here. How are we doing this? Starting with 5 minutes of about light jogging, bouncing, jumping, just getting that core temperature up, and also the ankles are very important in parkour. Then it's basic mobility drills, such as opening up the shoulders, the hips, the wrists. Also, we're increasing our full range of motion. If you join the free community with the link down below, and those here already in the community, in the free program, you can see that we have a full warm-up, which increases full mobility that you can do before any single workout. In the last 5 to 10 minutes of animal movements, these are cat, crab, bear, duck. These aren't random. Animal movements prep your joints, wake up your nervous system, and stretch you into positions you don't normally hit while getting stronger in them. There are only 2 ways to get stronger: muscle mass and efficiency in the movement. In order to get efficient in the movement, we actually have to be in those positions. So think of it as yoga meets flow strength. If you want to do this at home, the free program has this workout as a warm-up, as mentioned. Also, the animal movement sequences, we have a bunch of those within the app as well, but you can also find those on YouTube absolutely free. There's no surprises, there's no secrets. You want to try this right now and see how it actually feels? Well, you can do 30 seconds of walking in cat, which is your hands and feet. Try 30 seconds in crab, where your stomach is up towards the air, and 30 seconds of duck walk, where you're trying to get your hips as low as possible and still walking. You think that's still easy? Try doing forwards and backwards. This primes you for real world movement, balance, ground contact, something that is very forgotten in traditional fitness, shoulder stability, all in one. Phase 2 is skill work, which you're going to be doing for the next 30 minutes. Now we bring the body online. The setup is very simple. All you need is a waist-high obstacle. If you're at a traditional gym, a lot of those boxes that you use for squat jumps or plyo jumps, those are perfect. If you just have a park bench, that works perfect as well. And you get to do a workout outside. The goal is just going from one side to the other for about 3 minutes with a 2-minute rest. Every single round, we're going to implement a different rule in order to force your body to do different things and get more creative within the movements. For example, every single round, you need to do something slightly differently. The next round, you're only allowed to use 1 limb. The next round, you're only allowed 2 limbs, and then 3 limbs, and then 4 limbs, and then you're only allowed hands, and then you're only allowed using your feet. This trains creative decision-making under movement pressure, so because you always need to keep moving, coordination, reaction time, spatial awareness, and flow. You're not just getting stronger, you're teaching your body how to problem solve in motion. For most adults, this feels awkward. That's exactly why it works. You're restoring neural pathways and mobility that you haven't touched in years. It's humbling, playful, and real training all at once. And that goes into phase 3, which is strength and balance. We end with targeted work that builds body control. The first option is arm and swinging strength. In parkour, swinging is key. Most adults can't hang on a bar for 30 seconds, yet it's one of the best metrics for real world strength. In parkour, you're gonna be swinging from bar to wall. You're just gonna be swinging all over the place. Not only is that cool, but you could also learn that relatively easy. When I work with people who can't even hold their own body up on monkey bars, it usually takes about 3 months. And this is one way that we can start. You start with just doing dead hangs, being able to hang on a bar. Once you're able to do up to 30 seconds, you can start doing it by shifting your body side to side, such as as side-to-side swings, and then you're going into control swings forward and back. If your gym has a stable bar, then you can progress into tap swings and then later on into full swings. But if you don't have a bar or it's not stable, sometimes the traditional pull-up bars, I just don't have that option. The second option is balance training. Balance training rewires your body control and that connection that you have. When we're standing up straight, we're constantly in balance. And in traditional fitness, we don't actually learn how to fully balance. Anyone who's gone paddleboarding since it's getting sunnier outside, you will feel the difference of just being able to stand up on something simple. You want to try it right now? Try standing up on one leg. Okay, is that easy? Try just closing your eyes a little bit. How difficult is that? Do you actually have the balance? I would love to actually hear everyone who's here on the live call and everyone watching it on social media if you were actually able to balance on one leg with your eyes closed for at least 10 seconds. This also works on your legs, your core, and most importantly, your awareness. Depending on if you're inside or outside, you can start with walking on a curb or a rail, squatting or pistol squats on a rail when you're getting a lot stronger. Balancing on that rail will give you a sense of confidence because you are in control of your body. You actually get to feel what it's like controlling your center of mass and how it is. And one of the best balancing skills that we get to is also handstands. You want to get into hand balancing, you start with the crow pose. At one point, you can be working on tripod headstand and then wall supported headstands. Now we've got a full handstand tutorial if that's something you're interested in, but just balancing in one of these positions for even 30 seconds builds an entirely new relationship with your body. Now a quick recap how to use this in your training, whether you're training once a week or full time. You have your warm up in which we're adding mobility, such as just adding animal flow or using the mobility warm up that we use in our program that you can get for free by joining the community. Then it's your skill work, 20 to 30 minutes of just going over an obstacle with creative drills. And last is your control work, 10 to 15 minutes of just working on hanging, balancing, or some sort of swinging. Just a mindset shift and a little creativity. And yes, it builds strength, mobility, coordination, and cardio all at once. Freedom of movement isn't reserved for elite athletes or people with gymnastics backgrounds. It starts with simple drills, small wins, and a willingness to move differently. These are the exact phases that I used with my parkour athletes, which eventually led to Ninja Warrior competitions, parkour competitions, or just getting the strength, skills, and freedom of movement. If you want structure, support, and community, we've got a free hybrid calisthenics program by just joining the community, which is down below. Everyone else here on the live call, we're about to get into the Q&A to answer all your questions, whether it's related to freedom of movement, parkour, or anything else. Let's train to move freely, let's train to control our bodies, and as always, stay awesome.